Hi, it's Neil here from Wedding Help NI, and we're at the Beach Lawns Hotel today. I'm along with Rebecca from the Little Wedding Nanny, and this is episode 68 of our podcast. So tell us, the Little Wedding Nanny, you have a great story. You started out in education and sort of came this way. So take us right back. Was it studying in England? Is that right? Or
Yes, so I was a primary school teacher in England for about 4 years. Me and my partner at the time, we then had our own children. The plan was to always come back here to get a house. And yes, once we had our little boys, I just thought teaching wasn't for me at that minute of time, that moment of time. And just thought I would try out something else that worked around me and my family.
Yeah.
So about 2 or 3 weeks then, before my own wedding, I decided I was going to start the Little Wedding Nanny.
Aye.
And yeah, here we are now.
And was that sort of how it came about? You were planning your own wedding. So how long is you're married again? So you got married...
I got married in August last year. Yeah. It was when I was planning my wedding. I remember being out for dinner with a few friends, and they said they had asked, are you going to get a babysitter for your day? And I think I was just a bit naive. I was like, what do you mean? And they were like, well, whenever your kids go to bed or when they want to go to bed, are you going to get a babysitter? And I just always thought to myself, no, they'll be fine. They'll just sleep in the pram,
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until about 2 or 3 weeks before my own wedding. It was my cousin's wedding, actually. Me and my husband then, we were just tag teaming. It was like, you entertain them for 20 minutes, I entertain them for 20. And that was the only way we could really socialise as well. So I thought... there's definitely a gap in the market for this.
And I suppose whenever your friends said you thought a wedding nanny, and especially like a wedding nanny, one of these terms, you thought, is that such a thing? And because there's so many different things in weddings, and it's, I suppose a wedding nanny is, in the last couple of years, they've become really popular, but you probably didn't realise it was there earlier.
Had never heard of it, to be honest. It wasn't until, like I said, then probably about a week before my wedding, I had contacted one, and they had my date unavailable. So there was definitely then a gap, in this market for more childcare for weddings.
Oh, but I think it's such an important, it's such an important thing at weddings, because I know as a performer, whenever I'm performing at weddings and stuff, kids be running about, it's a bit crazy. And having that person there to really look after your kids and stuff, it's so important.
Yeah.
Because you know what, you want to enjoy your day too, isn't that right?
Definitely. And I think having someone there who's not part of your day, who's not a guest, and having, an extra set of eyes, an extra pair of hands to take the stress off them is definitely something to consider. Brides and grooms have been planning their weddings for goodness knows how long and how much money they've been putting into it.
Yeah.
They're entitled to enjoy their day and, take off their parent hat for like a couple of hours at least.
Yeah.
And, just have someone there that can look after the children and take a little bit of pressure off.
Yeah. How did you find this setting up a business and all? I suppose coming from somebody you've worked, as a teacher and stuff, how did you find that process of setting up the business and stuff?
It was all very new. Obviously, I've got, knowledge in childcare and education, but actually the business side of it was all very new. I remember it was one Friday night that me and my husband just came up with the name and stuck a wee video on Instagram, and within a couple of weeks, was getting quite good engagement. And then it was the girl who had actually done my spray tan for my own wedding had said, you should really join Wedding Help NI. I get a lot of business from there.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, great then. This is going to be really good exposure. And start it. And then it wasn't until I put, 2 and 2 together. I was actually, as a bride myself planning, I was actually part of the Wedding Help NI business page, but as a bride, not as a vendor.
I suppose you didn't see that whole background of what, really, I suppose, what's going on and how weddings. I always find weddings is one of them things. It's such a. I find it hard to get on, and then once you're on it, just in bed, and beds around you,
Yeah.
So setting up the business, you got it set up, and then first wedding was there a lot of nerves there and stuff then? And
it was, but it was a girl that I had gone to school with, so it was, bringing me in gently as such. But she just had a baby. Her baby was 8 weeks old, and she had wanted someone then just to look after her youngest.
Yeah.
So that was my first wedding. Was 2 weeks after my own.
Right.
Yes, and then the ball just started kind of rolling from there. So
That was probably a great starting point too,
It
rather
was.
than maybe somebody contacting you on your socials or something,
Yeah.
somebody you knew and had that bit of rapport with
Yeah,
to
definitely.
start off then,
Definitely, yeah.
And how have you found the wedding help community, as a full, as a thing for like the likes of their WhatsApp groups and stuff? Have you found them helpful as well, I suppose?
Yeah, I think Wedding Help NI is just it's like a big community, isn't it? But it's
Yeah.
also like a big network, I think having that engagement with other vendors, there's always going to be someone who knows someone that needs something.
Yeah.
And also, I've been contacted by brides who are wanting a wedding nanny and I haven't had their date available. But with me being part of Wedding Help NI, I'm then able to pass them on to another wedding nanny, which
Yeah.
is great. Hadn't I been part of that group, I wouldn't be able to pass on business either.
And I suppose, as well, you're passing it on to somebody who's, known in weddings. You're
Yeah.
passing it on to somebody
Yeah.
who's responsible, who's part of a
Who's
community.
trustworthy
And
and-
that's a
yeah.
big thing, especially with childcare and stuff. It's such a
Yeah.
big responsibility. It's,
Definitely.
it's really important, like so it
Yeah.
is, Do you find the education thing as well, that's really good? And do you bring that under what you're doing with the childcare as well, I suppose, depending on age?
Yeah, so I find with having that background, I'm able to almost win them over as such,
That's really important as well for a parent to know that on the wedding day that the child is with somebody that there's a trust there, and I suppose the meet and greets are a big part of it. Is
Yeah.
that an extra service, or what way does that work, I suppose, in the booking process?
Yes, about 4 weeks before the wedding, I like to just get in touch with the bride and groom. Either face-to-face is probably better, but if we can't, we'll just do a phone call. But it's just that opportunity for them to get to know me, actually see me,
Yeah,
face-to-face.
yeah.
And also for me, get to know their child and their child become familiar with me. It's also to discuss little comforts, little routines, things that they might like. I had a meet and greet there the other week where the little boy asked me would I bring a doctor's kit,
Yeah.
And to me, that is something that I'm going to prioritize because I know, well, this is something he's really looking forward to, and he's, it's going to really help bring down that barrier walls with us as well.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a positive add-on from it.
And in terms of the legal side of it with childcare and stuff, how does that work at weddings? Do you know a bit of background in that? Is there so many children that you're able to look after on a wedding day, or can you tell us a wee bit about that, just for any couples watching and maybe interested in that?
Yes.
They've maybe so many children at the wedding. How does that work?
Yeah, so definitely. So for ratio, it really, again, depends on the age of the children. So for me, I can look up 1 nanny to 3 children.
Yeah.
But depending on the age, I've had a wedding where down in Castle Leslie Estate where I had 8 children and the ages ranged from 7 months till 4, which is a really tricky age when you've got quite a few of them and you're in an environment that maybe isn't completely childproof either.
Yeah.
So definitely bringing on the appropriate amount of nannies for ratio, then it helps keep everyone safe. And
Yeah, I suppose as well you mentioned environment, and that's really important. That's a really important thing, because on a wedding day you're bringing a child into an environment that they're not used to and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's lots of struggles there too.
yeah,
So having a wedding nanny is really important, that can help with that environment and help the child
Definitely.
sort of navigate around that as well.
yeah, definitely. Weddings can be such a long day for anyone,
Yeah.
but for a child, it can be really overwhelming and also overstimulating. It's such a long day, and being around unfamiliar faces and an environment they're not used to. By having a wedding nanny there, they're able to take them out for fresh air, take them for a wee walk, and just have a reset almost. With my services, I also provide like a TP children's corner.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
So again, it's having that little, almost like that little magical area of their own where, they've done their photos, they've done all their standing, they can now just be a child and just play and, just...
I think that's really important as well, because it gives them an area, and as you say, it's their own area rather than, you know, the formalities of, and I'm not being funny, you know, the brides or the couples, they want, you know, nice flowers.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
want kids hanging off them.
Yeah.
Well, they have their own area to go to as well.
Yeah.
And they feel that this is their place, I
Their
suppose.
place, and they're also being cared for. Do you
Yeah.
know, the parents can go and have a little mingle with other people or have a little drink and just have that pressure off their shoulders, knowing, well, my child's over there playing and they're also being cared for.
Yeah. And do you offer different packages for the day? Is there shorter packages, longer packages, and then I suppose overnight as well? Is that an option?
Yes, so I offer 2 main packages, 6 and 12 hours. However, I always say they can be tailored to suit you and your day. Sometimes 6 hours is too short, but then 12 hours can be too long.
Yeah.
So I will tailor it around the bride and their day and what they want.
Yeah.
I do offer overnight stays as well, yes.
Yeah. So, and in terms of travel and stuff as well, are you happy to travel anywhere, or what would your sort of, you know?
I would travel anywhere. I've got a few weddings down south as well.
Yeah, you were saying you're going to Wicklow.
Wicklow,
So
yes,
that's
and I'm
it.
really excited to see that venue, yes.
Yeah.
So happy to travel anywhere, yeah.
Yeah. Setting up the businesses, do you find any struggles or any things along the way that sort of was hard?
It's really just trying to get that audience, isn't it? And really target what type of, audience you're after. Obviously, I'm looking for bride and grooms that are going to have children at their wedding.
Yeah.
So it's also thinking about what type of content as well to put up. But it's been going well. Yeah.
How did you find planning your own wedding? Did you find that stressful, or how did you find it as well?
I really enjoyed planning our own wedding. Me and my husband now, we are quite laid back, I would say. Suppose having 2 children in the house, wedding planning wasn't at the top of our list either.
Yeah.
But at night when they would have gone to bed, I would have, been on the phone on the Facebook pages and just seeking advice from other brides.
Yeah.
That's when I'd come across the Wedding Help NI page and would have seen all suppliers or vendors, advertising, and it then gave me ideas, little DIY ideas too that I wouldn't have necessarily thought of.
I suppose now, looking at it from you being a supplier, is there anything now you would have maybe done different as well at your own wedding? I suppose knowing more of a wedding industry now, or
yes, definitely. Like there's things that I would have had that I didn't know about. Like the illustrations and things like that, little add-ons.
So popular at the moment,
so popular,
it?
and a really lovely takeaway too.
Yeah.
But yes, I think there's so much more out there that I wouldn't have known about, had I not been in the wedding industry now. So.
Yeah. Where can people find out? What's the easiest channels to find out about your own business?
So I have an Instagram at the Little Wedding Nanny, and I'm also part of the Wedding Help NI website.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I think we've touched on lots today, so we do.
Yes. Thank you.
So thank you for coming along.
No, thank you. It's been great. Thanks.
Brilliant. Thanks so much. Bye for now.